I've been a really big fan of the Neutrik Silent plug, and I used to call it Neutrik, but I actually talked to a rep, and the preferred nomenclature is Neutrik because it's a European brand. The Silent plug I first spotted Joe Bonamassa using them, and you basically have the ability to unplug your guitar without the amp buzzing to hell and having to unplug it from the amp first. This is great for guitar techs. It's good for musicians that use a lot of different guitars on stage. But the plugs are around $10 or $11 a piece. So what I found was that Neutrik has a different brand here, this Rean plug, and Rean is a brand of Neutrik. So this is basically a cheaper version of the Silent plug, and you'll notice when I put the two next to each other that this plug here has a cutoff switch in this collar, and the Rean has one just like it. The difference is basically that this one is rated for 10,000 matings, meaning plugging and unplugging, and this one's rated for 1,000. But this one is a lot more cost-effective of a plug. So to kind of show you how this works, when you plug this in and that collar is pushed in, then the cable will be live, and when you unplug it, the collar pops back out and it cuts the signal, so you don't get all that buzzing in the amp. It's the same thing with the Silent plug, of course. You can even see that this pops up and down pretty easy. You get that, you put it right in, the collar goes in, and that makes the line active, and when you pull it out, the collar pops out, that cuts the signal. So on the guitar cables that I'm making, I either have a more expensive version of it with the Neutrik Silent plug, or a more economical version with the Rean Silent plug. So they both work great, and I just wanted to show you the difference between the two. You can see that this one has the rubber grips, and this looks more like a traditional plug. So there's some visual differences, there's some quality differences, but all in all, they're both made to do the exact same thing. So I hope you like this video, and hopefully I'll be making some more as far as how they sound and how they work. Thanks. Alright, so I just finished the tutorial on the difference between the Neutrik Silent plug and the Rean brand by Neutrik Silent plug, and how the red one above is a bit more expensive and is a bit nicer than the cheaper one, although the cheaper one is a good alternative. I'm going to transition that now to the cables I'm using. So in the back here we have got the Mogami, which is the 2524 guitar cable, and that's a bit more expensive of a guitar cable. And as an alternative, what I have here is the MyStarSound audio cable, and that's instrument cable. It's 20 AUG, and what I like about this is that it's a more economical price as an alternative to the Mogami. And if you can see on this end, you've got the ground wire, obviously the hot wire, and then the hot wire has a little bit of shielding ground that you can kind of peel off with your fingers around it. That's an important thing to do, and that's basically a feature with both of these. If I hold the Mogami next to the MyStarSound audio cable, there's really very little difference between the two. So in fact, I think that the Mogami is a little bit thinner of a wire, that this is a little bit thinner in diameter, this is a little bit thicker in diameter. But if you look at them really close, there is very little difference between the two in terms of appearance. And I think that you'll find that there's very little difference in terms of sound quality as well. I think the build is the same. The stiffness of this wire is very similar, and the difference being is cost. So the Mogami is going to cost a lot more per foot. MyStarSound audio cable, this is a local Detroit brand. I'm in the Detroit area, and I found this as a local alternative to the Mogami cable, and they sent me a sample of it, and I really enjoyed the sound of it. I liked soldering it up. It was a very good fit for my needs, and I think for my customers it really adds an economical alternative to the Mogami. One thing that I found with guitar enthusiasts, though, is that they're pretty brand loyal. So if you're not brand loyal to Mogami or a certain kind of guitar cable, I definitely recommend trying this kind of guitar cable out. And bands like Shinedown and Bret Michaels of Poison used the MyStarSound audio cable on tour, so I'm not sure if that's a shining endorsement of the product or not, but this is used by professionals in the industry like Shinedown and Bret Michaels, so they use this on all of their mics, all of their guitars, all their everything on their tour, so it is a professional grade cable, and as you can see in terms of construction, that it is virtually similar to the Mogami cable. So usually when I make cables, I'll have the more expensive version and then the more cost-effective version. So I invite you to try them, and those are basically the physical differences, and hopefully I'll get on to a comparative video with some guitar samples. So thanks.